After returning back home from 1 year of travel, it's finally time to think about all the things that I carried in my backpack for my personal one-bag life and to change some things. That's why this video is all about these things in my 30-liter backpack that I will get rid of or replace with something else. And at the end of the video, I will give you my single best tip on when you should start thinking about replacing something for every kind of lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life. So don't miss out. For all of you who are new to my channel, I'm Sven, just an extreme minimalist with less than 150 possessions, whose biggest desire is to live his whole life out of just one carry-on sized backpack. So if you end up liking the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment with your thoughts at the end of the video and join me on my journey towards a true one-bag life and to find out how an extreme minimalist lifestyle looks like. And also, don't forget about the weekly community post with an interesting question regarding a one-bag life in general that it's posted with this video. But I would say, let's get started. Do you know that feeling when you feel like something about your lifestyle, some aspect about your lifestyle needs to change because your journey comes to an end? That's the feeling that I have right now for my own one-bag life lifestyle. As I already mentioned, I just returned from 1 year of full-time traveling, and now even for me it's time to think about all the things that I carry in my life in my backpack. And even though I decluttered a lot of things on the road, I still have some things that I definitely want to get rid of or replace with other items, and that's what I want to show you today. But first, just to make sure that you know what I'm talking about, recently I made a video about my 30-liter, especially this 30-liter carry-on size bag and what is in my backpack while I was traveling. So if you want to know why I carry certain things and why I want to get rid of them, you should definitely check out that video because there I mentioned everything that was inside this backpack until I returned home. So definitely check out that video, but now let's talk about what I want to get rid of and what I want to replace with other things. Maybe we should start with the things I definitely want to get rid of because that's actually just 2 or maybe 3 items. And the first one is an item that I talk actually a lot about on this channel already, and that is this travel sheet. I kept this travel sheet from start of the journey to the end and only used it one time when I was in the jungle in Sumatra. So I can definitely be very confident to say I will definitely get rid of a travel sheet because in my opinion, I think most of people wouldn't use that as much. Maybe when you sleep like in cheaper hotels or hostels where you don't feel there is enough hygiene work, maybe in these cases, or sometimes when you sleep outside, maybe you could use that. But when you won't use a thing for 1 year or maybe 1 or 2 times, it's definitely time after you returned home to get rid of it. The next thing that I will get rid of and also replace, I would say, I can't actually show them to you right now because they're in the wash. That are actually my sneakers and my sandals. As I said, you can watch my last video where I show you the shoes, but I will definitely get rid of them both because I think I will need a solution that can fit every situation, no matter if I'm on the beach or if I'm in the city. So that's why I will get rid of both of these and will replace these shoes with one set of barefoot shoes. I don't have them right now, I just need to make a lot of research actually to find the best ones for my use case, but that's why I want to get rid of 2 pair of shoes and replace them with 1 pair of barefoot shoes. One thing that I wouldn't thought of getting rid of or replace with something else is actually a travel charger, because I think it would be the perfect solution no matter if I'm here in my home or when I'm traveling. But actually after some time I honestly think it's just too bulky. Yes, you have the option to choose multiple outlets, you can have very different connections to everything, but I think it's just too bulky. And I will replace it with a casual, like normal EU charger, with a small one with a lot of wattage. And I will, before I go traveling to my next destination, I will inform myself what adapter I need. So I will just get a smaller charger and then buy the adapter for this country. And after I'm returning home, I will sell or donate this adapter because I think that's a much better solution. I don't know actually. but I think the solution is better than carrying this bulk of a travel charger for everyone. But now let's come to the very interesting things, and the first thing I want to start with is actually something I can't show you right now because I'm using it, because I will replace my camera. So this is the camera I'm using right now. It's a Sony a7C II, and I had it for all the time I was traveling. I'm using a small pancake lens with it and a tripod, and I'm actually filming this video right now with the camera so I can show you. That's why I only can show you the box of it. But I learned when I was traveling that I won't use this camera a lot because it's still a little bit heavy and it's a little bit chunky, and I don't want to have a very expensive camera only to film these YouTube videos, because I think a lot of smaller cameras and also a lot of cheaper cameras can do the same job and even do more for me in my case. That's why all my future videos will be filmed on this camera. This is maybe a camera you also know. This is an action camera from DJI, Action 5 Pro. And this will be my main filming camera as well, because I think I will use this much more often than I would use this camera. So I will just replace the big chunky camera with a very small action camera, but still make these videos and still be able to take photos. So this will be my solution for the future. And now we come to the part where we talk a lot about weight savings. And the first thing that I will replace is actually my laptop. I had this laptop for a very, very long time. I think since 2021, and it's still going very, very good. So it works like it is brand new, but I think it's just too heavy for everything that I use it for. Because honestly, I only use this thing for browsing the web, watching YouTube videos, or maybe streaming some films. And occasionally I will also edit these videos on this laptop. But I think for that reasons, it's first of all too powerful, I would say, so I don't use it at all. And also way too heavy and way too big. So I will replace this laptop with a maybe smaller tablet kind of. So I'm actually not sure what the perfect solution is right now. But it won't be a laptop again, it will be a small tablet or something else in that regard. But I will definitely get rid of the laptop and replace it with something else. And when we talk about tech that I will replace with maybe a tablet, it's also the Kindle that I will replace. So I read a lot while I was traveling after I bought this in Vietnam, and it was very, very nice to have a dedicated device for reading. But I think if I get a small tablet, or I don't know what solution it will be in the end, I don't think that I will read as much on the e-reader in the future, because it will be a similar size maybe, or maybe a little bit bigger. But in the end, the use case would be so similar and the sizing and everything would be so similar that I don't see any benefit in keeping the e-reader just because it's a separate device for reading. So this will be also one thing I will replace, as I said, with a tablet or something else. And the last thing that I will replace with something else is actually my phone. So I also had this phone for a very, very long time. I actually don't know when I bought it. And I noticed that when I was traveling, especially when I was bored, I spent sometimes a lot of time on that phone, and I didn't feel very good using it so much. So I will sell this one. It's actually working very, very good still after a couple of years that I had it right now. And we'll replace it with a, maybe you can call it dumb phone or feature phone or future phone. So a dumbed down version of this that only has the apps that I will use regularly, like texting, calling and everything. Because I just don't use that phone for what it's intended to be. I have just a couple of apps, and as I said, when I'm bored, I sometimes reach for it and download maybe a game or so and play it for a very long time and then delete it again. So it hasn't really a use case for me as it is, and hopefully through a dumb phone or a feature phone, I will get a little bit less distracted by my phone. So that is actually it. I think that is everything that I want to replace or get rid of after I returned home. The rest of the things that are currently in my backpack, like clothing, like toiletries and the other miscellaneous items or accessories, will keep or will be the same in the future, I think, because right now I think I use almost everything else that I have in my backpack, and I don't feel the need to replace anything else because they have a very specific use case or a very general use case, and I love using these items for these use cases, and I haven't found a better solution for them. So that's why these are the only, if you want to call it like that, items that I will replace or get rid of right now. As you can see, even when you're pursuing an extreme lifestyle like a one-bag life, there are always things that you can get rid of or replace that are currently in your backpack. And I think it's always good to take your time after maybe a couple of months or after you use these things for a very extensive amount of time to think about if you really need them or not. That's why I always try to evaluate the things that are in my backpack on a regular basis. Maybe every month, maybe every 3 months, or maybe every 12 months. So I have a fixed time frame to find out if I need something, if I want to replace something, or maybe I found a better solution on the way. But now that you know the things in my 30-liter backpack that I will get rid of or replace, here is my single best tip on when you should start thinking about replacing something for any kind of lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life. And that is after you spend a minimum amount of time in a real-world use case for the intended use of the thing that you want to replace maybe. And what I mean with that is quite simple. As I said, in my opinion, if you have something you think about replacing, you should use it a minimum amount of time. Maybe 1 month, maybe 3 months. But the most important thing, except the time frame, is that you use it for its intended purpose. Because I'm pretty sure everything you bought has a very specific or maybe not so specific purpose. And if you don't use it for this intended purpose in a real world scenario, I think you will never know if you want to get rid of or replace something. Because maybe you just bought something and thought, oh, I need that thing so much, or I will use it a lot of times, and then you won't use it just because you don't carry it. So you need the time, you need the real world use case, and you also need the intended purpose. Because sometimes it's better to find out you don't need something or you want to replace something after you used it multiple times. And especially good would be when you use it not in only one situation, you use it in multiple situations, in multiple scenarios, and maybe even in multiple, I don't know, countries, weather conditions, whatever it is that your item is used for. So that's why I would say take your time, a minimum amount of time, go to a real world use case where you use it multiple times in different conditions, and then think about if you really need it or you want to replace it. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment with what you think is the perfect moment to replace something with something else. The next video will be about all the lessons that I learned while I was full-time traveling and also pursuing a one-bag life at the same time. In the meantime, you can watch my last video where I show you what the future of this channel will look like and why your stories and your experience matter so much more than you think, especially to other people. And always think about the community post that is posted with this video. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.